story unfolding before their eyes.
Of a UFO battle in orbit around Earth.
I believe that's 504, please.
Welcome back to Aussie UFO News. This video will be covering the latest revelations that have come from the latest reality check video that was released by News Nation, which unveiled the secret behind Congress lying to the public, and that being in correlation to the military-industrial complex contractors that are beholders of the program, the infamous program that is behind the re-engineering of downed or gifted UAP craft and technology. And on top of that, a lot of technologies that get patented and then vanish off the face of existence, such as zero-point energy inventions that geniuses create, but again, the government hides from the public because it threatens the control of the military-industrial complex. So let's jump into the News Nation clip now, and I'll slowly go through piece by piece what Ross is saying and break it down a little bit and just do a bit of commentary on side with the video playing.
Some of those witnesses that we reached out to have either scheduling conflicts or do not want to be in a public hearing. So we're kind of going back to the drawing board, and we've got a list right now we're working on. David Grush is leading the effort to bring forward the witnesses that we will have in September. So that's what we're lining up. In addition, I've made an ask to the White House for our task force to get tours of Area 51, some of the other military installations, and to get a briefing. And so we're working with the White House to see if that can happen.
Is it challenging to get the firsthand witnesses because a lot of them are just nervous about coming forward? Is that your biggest hurdle?
Yes. It doesn't benefit their life in any way. If anything, their life gets totally disrupted. Look at David Grush. He lost all of his benefits, all of it, his pension, his medical benefits.
So just a side note for people that think the UFO mystery is all rubbish or a conspiracy. Why would the government take away a guy's benefits, his livelihood, fire him, then pay the media off to literally tell lies about him, to discredit him, and go through all of this trouble, which costs taxpayers money, to ridicule and discredit this former intelligence officer's credibility, if this was all just some wacky conspiracy?
There's a huge sacrifice that these people have to make before they come forward.
Yeah. Can you just talk about how significant it would be if, under oath in Congress at a hearing, we actually had people who did claim to be firsthand witnesses versus what we've already seen?
Yeah, it'll get us one step closer, right? Because obviously everything we've heard so far is secondhand, people that have not directly been involved. So it'll be at least one step closer.
So here's Ross's response to what that senator has just said.
So isn't it great to see a mainstream news reporter like Joe asking questions about UAPs, and a politician takes the issue seriously and recognises that it's an issue that the public wants to know about? One thing I would take issue with Rep. Burleson, respectfully, is he keeps on saying that there have been no first-hand witnesses. And this is a big issue of concern to people because it looks like Congress has got a kind of a selective amnesia with the evidence of Jake Barber. Jake Barber is a first-hand witness. Jake Barber has already given his evidence in camera to the Senate Select Committee for Intelligence, where he's detailed in excruciating detail what he knows about the retrieval program being run by the military and by a specific defense contractor.
So what Ross is exposing is that the Congress already know about hundreds of different whistleblowers, and even whistleblowers that have came in and given testimony on the record, and then they go and front the media and pretend like it never happened.
I do think it's time for people to start asking, what the hell is the Senate Select Committee for Intelligence doing with all of this information that's being given in camera by first-hand witnesses? Because Jake's not the only one. And I think a lot of first-hand witnesses really are looking at Congress. I don't doubt for a moment that Representative Anna Paulina Luna and Representative Eric Burleson are absolutely legit in their attitudes to try and get to the truth of this matter. My issue is with the Senate. I don't think that the Senate Select Committee for Intelligence or the Senate Armed Services Committee are playing an entirely straight bat with the way that they're responding and being seen to respond. Are they absolutely serious? Are senators in particular, when they're... Because one of the problems that we have with this whole issue is, yes, the Oversight Committee is doing a noble job down there in the House trying to get into this issue, but the committees that have the full powers to ask all the hard questions of the intelligence community and the military are the ones that are cleared to do that, confirmed what I've been told by first-hand witnesses that evidence has been given to the Senate.
So what Ross is saying is that these senators, and then you've got the even more powerful senators or House Committee, whatever they're called, that are above them, have the power to go and get classified files and interview whistleblowers and relay the information that they're able to the public, but they're the ones in the middle that are blocking this from happening. Who's paying them off and who are they really working for? Obviously not the American people.
This is such a highly classified subject within the United States that the special access programs, including waived, unacknowledged special access programs that contain compartmentalized programs that are hiding this UAP program, they are extremely closely protected and secured. Good intentions of some in the Senate who say that they are disclosure people, but frankly, aren't really at all.
And why might Ross say that? Well, the reason is because half of these senators, and especially the higher up ones, have stocks in these military companies. So if these corporations have the back-engineered UAP technology, as an example, these were the companies that invented things like fibre optics that were way ahead of the market and that put these inventions out that would not have existed unless the UAP crash retrieval program existed. So, therefore, they are protecting their own financial assets.
At some stage, we've got to ask ourselves, are we being played? And I do think we're being played. I think there are certain senators in particular who are making noises about being pro-disclosure and pro-transparency. And frankly, I think they know full well about this program, this highly compartmentalized program. I think they have been read into it. And I think part of the issue now for Congress is that there are parts of the Congress that have been read into the secret retrieval and reverse engineering program, and they don't think you've got the right to know about it. And I suspect also at the Trump White House level, I think Trump has drunk the Kool-Aid with sections of the national security industry who have told him that this is far too important a program to jeopardize by bringing it into the public arena before Congress. So yes, I suspect very, very much that we're being played right now.
You hear that? We're being played, just like we've been getting played for the last 100 years to do with this subject. There's too much at stake for these wealthy billionaires that own these corporations like Lockheed Martin, Skunk Works. There's too much at stake, and we don't matter. So they don't care about lying straight to our faces because they know a majority of the public are stupid enough to believe it.
I have a real problem with what's going on at Senate level, and I think that there are certain key senators that are actively obfuscating and blocking the public's right to know. And people are very, very skeptical about the public statements being made by the Trump administration and by certain senators about there being a willingness to get to the truth of this matter. They're frightened because they're being intimidated and threatened behind the scenes. And indeed, some of the people who've come forward over the years are not being treated very well at all. There is a backlash going on at the moment. I can't go into a lot of details, but witnesses are being intimidated and threatened. There is a very deliberate trolling campaign going on online to try and mislead and lie and deceive people. And there are certain known actors in the social media sphere who are pushing an agenda, I think, being promoted by psychological operations and disinformation operations conceived by the intelligence community and the Pentagon. There is a very deliberate and hard pushback going on at the moment.
So there you have it, folks. The intelligence community are working with these high-level senators and congressmen to block the disclosure of the UFO program, as it's called. And they're doing the old magician trick. Look at the hand over here, while the hand behind the curtain knows that the UFO crash retrieval program is real. But they don't want you to know. But they'll tell you that they're doing everything they can to get to the bottom of it. It's all lies. They're doing the same thing right now with the politicians and the extremist leftists, EU and World Economic Forum, working together to get rid of democracy. This is the same scenario here, but on a smaller scale. The UFO program will never be released unless they are forced to do it and the evidence is overwhelming. In the meantime, keep an eye out for all of the propaganda to steer you away from getting to the truth. More Wall Street Journal propaganda journals to discredit and ridicule the UAP phenomenon. And basically, the more they do this, people that are switched on realise that why are they putting all this effort into debunking something? And when you do that, just like things like the climate change narrative or the COVID vaccines, when you try to do everything to suppress anyone who has a different opinion with evidence and facts behind them, they must be covering something up. And that's exactly what's happening here with the UAP whistleblowers that don't want to come forward because they're getting their careers destroyed and their livelihood and their families are at risk. So knowing if you were a whistleblower and you knew your career was going to go down the toilet, you were going to be ridiculed all through the media, why would you want to step forward? And then, forget the cherry on top. Also, your safety and your family's safety will be at risk. Why the hell would you want to come forward? First, it was non-disclosure agreements, and now that's failing. They go to intimidation, and even in some cases to do with the UAP subject, murder to shut people down. Same with politics. Anyone on the right that tries to speak up gets censored and shut down with aggression. It's the same thing going on here, the same government censorship tactics. It's been done before, it's happening right now in all different scenarios, and we have to read between the lines and get the facts out and share the facts before all of our social media becomes censored and all of our ability to share the truth becomes shut down, because I'm sad to say it's starting to look like that could be a possibility. Anyway, sorry for the doom and gloom, but someone has to say it. And in other important news, people, I still have stickers for sale. So go to my eBay store. The link will be in the description below. Or directly message me on Instagram at Aussie UFO News and I can ship them straight out to you free of postage. Tune in to Aussie UFO News for all the latest UFO footage that's being sent to us to be looked at and exposed to you, the public. And also, please share my videos. I've had a massive drop in viewership of my last couple of videos, and a lot of people tell me that they're not coming up on the algorithm to see them. So the best thing you can do is share my videos around. I don't care about likes. It is helpful to comment to express your opinion. Of course, I'm pro freedom of speech, so whatever you think, even if you think it isn't real or it's not a real UFO sighting, put your opinion below. But most importantly, share my footage on YouTube, Instagram, and X, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.